Different occasions. How investigators connected the dots.
A Florida family says fumigators did not follow the law and now their cat is dead. 4 in Your Corner coverage starts right now.
Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
A Southwest Florida home health nurse is accused of using his job to commit sexual assault. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Amy Wegman. Jorge Lago was taken into custody after a DNA match linked him to 2 separate assaults. 4 in Your Corner's Adam Pinsker telling us it was an alert investigator who actually noticed similarities in the crimes.
Amy, deputies say that Jorge Lago was visiting a patient at that patient's home when a relative asked Lago for some medical advice. He asked the victim to step into his vehicle. That's when police say he tried to grab that victim's private area.
I thought you guys were here for some community inspection, but when you guys said my neighbor, I was like, no, I don't really believe my neighbor would actually do that.
But Deisha Arthur's neighbor, Jorge Lago, is facing serious charges. Deputies say a DNA match confirmed Lago sexually assaulted 2 victims in separate incidents. An investigator who responded to the first incident last month noticed similarities to a case in 2016. Lagos met his victim in the parking lot of the Home Depot at Airport Road and Davis Boulevard. They discussed his medical condition, and he asked the victim to get in his car. Then he grabbed the victim in the private area. Lago worked for West Coast Home Health. The company wouldn't talk to 4 in Your Corner about the case, but did say Lago no longer worked there. Arthur says what deputies described of her neighbor is not the person she knows.
He was a pretty nice guy.
Arthur says Lago and his family were nice enough to give her family food after Hurricane Irma.
He gave me a whole box of candy and the military packing with the Skittles in it.
A person who answered the door at Lago's home declined to comment on camera for 4 in Your Corner. Lago remains in the Collier County Jail tonight. Reporting from Collier County, Adam Pinsker, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
Thank you, Adam. A couple in Collier County accused of carjacking a man on this street in Golden Gate Estates this afternoon. Deputies stopped the couple and arrested the man, but they say the woman took off. They used canines and helicopters to search that area for her. It's right near 28th Street Avenue Southwest. A Cape Coral man arrested after being shot by a family member. It happened at a home on Tropicana Parkway last night. Cape Coral police say Tyler Dale threatened to kill his family and started to walk toward a room where there was a gun. Officers say a family member then feared that he would carry out that threat, so shot him. Dale was treated at the hospital, then sent to jail. He's charged with simple assault with intent to do violence.
Well, with the Mega Millions jackpot at over $420 million as of last night, one Lee County man was feeling lucky. Deputies say he broke into a North Fort Myers convenience store to steal lottery tickets. 4 in Your Corner, Sam Sosa has all the details.
They're stupid. They're stupid.
Meet Kevin Croft. He was arrested this afternoon for breaking into the Laurel Lane convenience store in the Suncoast neighborhood. Investigators say he did it by breaking in through the roof. You heard me. Surveillance images show a man hanging from the ceiling inside the store after breaking through the roof. We shot this drone footage to show you exactly where. Now the owner of the store, we're told a nice guy named Mo, is on the hook for at least $1,500 worth of damage.
It's messed up because he's a hardworking man and he got to go and fix something someone else broke. That's crazy.
This was no easy task. A report from the sheriff's office says Croft smashed and cut through plywood and asphalt to get in here, all to steal lotto tickets. Once inside, he shoved several dozen lottery tickets in his pants, then crawled out the same hole he came in.
Crazy out of his mind. I don't think he would ever even get money. You can't even cash them in, can you?
Longtime Laurel Lane shopper Brandon Williams is right. Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers Trish Rout says attempting to cash those in would have got him caught either way.
Even if he thinks he won the lottery and one of those tickets was, $10,000, it's flagged as stolen.
Sources tell me deputies got to him before he even had the chance, arresting him not even a block away. Get this. He lives right next door to the store.
They shouldn't be doing that in their own back neighborhood, let alone stealing anything. I say go get a job.
Sam Sosa, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
And deputies say this is Croft's 21st booking into jail. He's facing grand theft and property damage charges.
The jury is now sworn in. Opening statements were given today in the trial of these 4 accused members of the Lake Boys gang in Fort Myers. The trial was set to start at 9 o'clock this morning, but there was a delay after a power outage. Fox 4 in the courtroom for the defense's opening statement, which tried to create doubt about investigators bringing racketeering charges against the young suspects.
The state will not show to you a pattern of racketeering activity. What the state will show to you is that, so he's got tattoos, right? He lives in a certain area. Maybe, he drives a certain car. He doesn't have a lot of money, okay? And he likes to rob bowling alleys. Well, so what? Okay? This is not a pattern of racketeering activity.
Last year, 21 suspected members of the Lake Boys were arrested after an investigation of what officials called Operation Great Lakes. The boys were charged with racketeering and corruption, also known as RICO, under a law designed to crack down on such individuals under organized crime statute. The trial continues tomorrow.
4 men have been indicted on first-degree murder and armed robbery charges in the shooting death of emerging rap star XXXTentacion. Now, investigators say 2 of the men confronted the rapper as he was leaving a Deerfield Beach motorcycle shop. This was on June 18th. He was found in the driver's seat of his car. You can see it on the right side of the screen. It's that black car there's a close-up shot of it. He had multiple gunshot wounds. 2 men were arrested shortly after the murder, but 2 others are still on the loose tonight.
The cause of death for that little baby girl who died after being found in a Northport canal is consistent with drowning, but they're still waiting for the toxicology report on this. Little Ava Perry was reported missing by her parents on Tuesday afternoon. She was found in this canal with the fast-moving water about a half-mile from her home. Neighbors, family, friends, even strangers putting these notes, balloons, and flowers in the spot where her body was found, and the investigation continues tonight. The body of a diver who tried to do some free diving in a large cave system you see here has been recovered. This happened last night. A civilian dive team found the man's body at a depth of about 150 feet. This is Eagle's Nest in Hernando County, north of Tampa. It's right near Weeki Wachee Springs. The sheriff's office says the man told his friends he was going to do a max breath dive, but he never resurfaced.
Well, investigators in Florida here are trying to figure out how 2 planes collided in midair over the Everglades on Wednesday. 4 people were killed. This is yesterday when this happened, 3 of which were experienced pilots. The other one was a flight student. Officials say all 4 victims are believed to have been in some kind of training session, and they left from the Miami Executive Airport. It's unclear who was flying the planes, but there were 2 people in each. Both were registered to flight schools. The FAA and the NTSB are assisting with the investigation. Well, Governor Rick Scott has already spent more than $13 million of his own money on his campaign to unseat 3-term Democratic U.S. Senator Bill Nelson. Scott submitted a campaign finance report this week showing his contributions. The report also shows nearly $8 million raised in other contributions since he entered the race in April. The campaign altogether has spent about $18 million on TV ads that criticize Bill Nelson.
President Trump has signed an executive order this afternoon encouraging companies to give American workers more opportunities. It actually orders companies to offer more apprenticeships and career training programs, and it would create a new National American Worker Council, as well as build a workforce strategy for this. White House advisor and first daughter Ivanka Trump says the plan goes along with her father's goal of limiting immigration to people who have particular work skills.
Senate Republicans blocking an effort to criticize Russia despite President Trump's comments. The proposal would have formally rejected Putin's claim that he did not meddle in our election, and it would have immediately put new sanctions into place and sparked hearings about Trump's private meeting with Putin. Now, the White House says the president disagrees with Putin's offer to let Russia interrogate Americans. Trump's Homeland Security leader said it's foolish to believe Russia.
I don't think there's any question in the intel community or at DHS that Russians attempted to infiltrate and interfere with our electoral system. I don't think there's any doubt that they did it, and I think we should all be prepared, given that capability and will, that they'll do it again.
So this morning, President Trump tweeted about a second meeting with Putin, saying it would let them put their agreements into play.
Sex life alert. No, not hot singles in your area. How to spot the scam that threatens to expose your most private moments.
Plus, on video, why a Florida couple says laws were broken after their cat was killed.
Hedges so out of control. Code enforcement shows up, but they're not there to bust the elderly man who lives in this Florida home. We'll explain next on Fox 4 News at 10. Derek?
Well, it's been a little drier than it's been really for the past several days, but it looks like we could see some higher rain chances on the 7-day forecast. We'll have all the latest coming up.
Live from the station that's in your corner. News with Patrick Nolan, Amy Wegman, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
A lawn that's so out of control, code enforcement shows up. They're going to bust somebody, right? Not this time. Instead of giving the elderly man who couldn't keep up with his lawn a violation, code enforcement officers in Miami Beach helped him fix it up. Andrew Dimbert has a look.
It had been 4 years since the elderly man who lives in this Miami Beach home had cut his grass. So, code enforcement officer Jacqueline Casedo was sent to check it out.
He confessed that he didn't cut his grass in a few years after the loss of a close relative.
Troubled by trauma without being able to afford costly lawn maintenance, Casedo was troubled by his circumstance and compelled to help.
I found it in my heart that the right thing to do was not to give him a violation.
Rather than just look away, Casedo called on her colleagues to help change this man's lawn and maybe even his life. On a Saturday afternoon, they grabbed their own materials from home, their own lawn mowers, rakers, to cut the grass, mow the lawn, pull the weeds, fix the patio, and bring this home back to code.
It was hard at first to get people to come out on their day off. You know, it's a Saturday where everyone's doing their own thing.
Caring for their community with a real sense of purpose and change, Casedo and her team not only gave the man a new look lawn, but a new lease on life.
After we cut his grass, he was so happy that we gave him a little bit of motivation to come outside.
She couldn't do it alone. The 11 selfless staffers who devoted their personal time helped Casedo help a total stranger, paying it forward.
Oh man, I would like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. This is not what I expected at all. This was just a small, random act of kindness from our department. We didn't expect all this.
A little bit goes a long way. Even after successfully bringing his yard up to par, the woman took it a step further and has filled out an application for the city's homeowner rehabilitation program. It provides eligible homeowners with up to $70,000 in housing rehabilitation funds.
How about some more good news? A generous donation allowing Habitat for Humanity of Lee and Hendry counties to help people in our area have their own homes. Fox 4 was there this morning during the presentation. Habitat got $25,000 from Renew Financial. This money will support Habitat for Humanity's disaster recovery program, which is helping people who are still recovering from Hurricane Irma.
One of Kansas homeowners started getting motion alerts from her doorbell camera, gave her the chills, especially when she looked. The woman says she was at work and her husband was away when a snake showed up at the door. Look at it. Experts say it was a rat snake, which is common. It's non-venomous. She quickly put it on Facebook, pleading for someone to come remove it before she got home. A brave neighbor eventually came to the rescue and got rid of that uninvited guest. Take a look at this. Not one, but two tornadoes in the sky. This is just east of Des Moines, Iowa today. Now, there were several reports of tornadic activity and funnel clouds in the area. You could hear the siren. Several homes in the area were damaged, and the roof of one home was completely torn off. Another home was damaged after an RV flipped up right next to it. And take a look at this video. The same storm cell, a dark cloud spinning behind a gas station. The storm blowing the spire off the top of a building. The storm happened in Marshalltown, Iowa. The National Weather Service says they suffered, quote, catastrophic damage. Officials have declared a state of emergency there tonight. About 27,000 people live in this town, which is about an hour northeast of Des Moines.
Wow, so scary.
That is no joke
Yeah,
when those
really.
warning sirens go off.
Yeah, and that's really not unusual for them this time of year. Typically July, August, when they start seeing a lot of that severe weather in the northern plains of the upper Midwest. So definitely an unfortunate situation for them, and it looks like it's continuing tonight across parts of the Midwest. But
too bad.
things here quiet, just hot and humid across the area. Not much rain this afternoon. Storm Chill 4 Doppler only showing one little light shower that is looks like it's trying to sneak up the Caloosahatchee there. Right now, it appears to be moving towards, looks like right towards Punta Rassa and getting over towards Iona right now. You can see these light showers. There's really not much to them. Continuing to push off towards the east here pretty quickly. Not much else out there right now, just mainly just some clouds and plenty of clear skies in other areas and lots of humidity. 84 currently in the Cape as well as Page Field, 87 Golden Gate. It still feels like the mid to upper 90s across parts of the area. It just gives you an idea of how humid it is. Tomorrow's highs will be back in the lower 90s. It will feel like around 105 in some areas. And for a change, it looks like we're not going to have hardly any chances for rain tomorrow. Maybe a stray shower popping up across the area, but typically this time of year we see storms firing up every afternoon, but we've seen a downtick in the coverage of storms the past several days as a result of some drier air and also a shift in the wind pattern here across the area. That's going to change though next week. The rain will be coming back as early as Monday and Tuesday. I think the chances will start going back up. But North Florida's be dealing with quite a bit of rainfall. Actually kind of a messy weather pattern going on across the southeast U.S. And these are the storms here. This is the one that caused the tornado earlier across parts of central Iowa. You can see they're now tracking towards St. Louis. This line of storms here has just created a pretty bad situation up on Table Rock Lake in southern Missouri, up around the Branson area. There were several tour boats out into the water, and apparently all of them have been capsized. There were about 31 people on these boats, and there are about 6 fatalities being reported from a boat that has been capsized from damaging winds from this line of storms as it moves into Arkansas. So that's a developing situation there. Very active in the midsection of the country, quiet here right now, as you can see from Predictor. Starting off the morning, just warm and humid with sunny skies. And notice all the rain's over on the East Coast here for tomorrow afternoon. We may see a stray shower or two popping up, especially near the coast in the morning. But really, tomorrow looks like it's going to be rain-free, dry, sunny, with hot temperatures, mainly in the low 90s. And like I said, it'll feel like over 100 degrees during the afternoon. So 78 tonight, mostly sunny tomorrow, 92 under partly cloudy skies here for tomorrow afternoon. Southwest winds at 10 knots. Your Ingman Marine forecast sees running about 2 feet. Inland waters a light chop. Here's your 7-day forecast. Chances for rain go back up by next week. So it looks like through Sunday, mainly low chances for rain, low 90s, and then those chances start ramping back up as early as Monday with the better chances the middle of next week.
Deadly drinking. A new study finding more millennials are dying from alcohol-related diseases. We're going to tell you how you can help your children stay safe.
The king might not be too happy about this. A woman flipping burgers in her flip-flops. How the customer ended up behind the counter of this BK lounge when she wasn't supposed to be. Next on Fox 4 News at 10. After waiting in line at this Jacksonville Burger King, a woman took it upon herself to make her own food. Customers say the pregnant woman stepped out of the slow-moving line, went into the kitchen, here's the picture, and started to prepare food to speed things up. And the staff didn't seem to stop her from having it her way. Burger King corporate says in a statement that the lady was an off-duty employee, but this should not have happened.
I used to work here when I was 16 years old, so I never seen this before. Never. And she told my son, it's fine. I said, no, you're not going to fix my food. You're not in uniform.
As a parent, we don't know anything about it, but we would look into it and we would investigate it.
Well, the team member and the manager have now been fired for violating company policies.
Shellfish shocker. A man is dead tonight after eating tainted oysters at a Florida restaurant. A family distraught after their cat crawls under a house just before it was fumigated. Why they blame the crew for their cat's death. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
A couple in the Tampa Bay area has started a crusade after their cat died underneath a house that was being fumigated.
The owners have the surveillance video, which you're about to see, and they say this proves that state laws were broken.
Investigative reporter Jackie Calloway is looking for answers from the state tonight after the case was dropped.
There's Tuxedo now going under the car.
What happened that day unfolds through video from Rob Kosh's home surveillance camera.
This is Tuxedo 2.
And a dictionary-sized binder of documents.
A cat runs across the street.
Rob and his partner, Beth Eschenfelter, rescued the pregnant stray and had her spayed in the months before she died.
I mean, it's sickening. It's heartbreaking.
On September 21st, Rob says he saw Tuxedo 2 run across the street and under a vacant house.
Seconds later, Here's the truck.
Rob later spots the fumigation tent going up and realizes what's coming.
This is where I was going to talk with Geiger's staff.
He says he asked the fumigation workers if he could get his cat out from under the home.
And here I'm escorted off the property.
You asked if you could go under that house.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely.
Rob says the crew asked him to leave the job site for safety reasons.
And I said, well, we'll just call the company direct.
The couple claims a Geiger supervisor refused to stop the job and check under the house for their cat.
Then I started to panic.
Phone records show Rob and Beth made over a dozen calls to police, animal control, and state regulators, but no one stepped in.
And it's actually known as what we call a biocide.
Toxicologist William Sawyer says sulfuryl fluoride is most commonly used in tent fumigations, often under the label Vicane.
It'll kill just about every living organism you can think of.
Florida law mandates before the fumigant is to be applied, the certified operator in charge must make a final personal inspection of the structure. And the law requires each pesticide be used according to its label. Vicane's label reads, remove from the structure all persons, domestic animals, pets.
This is 2 days later.
Beth crawled under the house and retrieved Tuxedo 2's body. Toxicology tests confirmed poisoning.
You know, this cat was just the sweetest cat in the world.
Rob and Beth turned their evidence over to the county and the Department of Ag. Animal Services ticketed Geiger Pest Services with cruelty to animals, but the county dropped the case due to conflicting statements. And the Department of Ag's own investigator concluded both sides have given different statements as to what happened. I'm unable to determine if there was any violation. And in these affidavits, Geiger's own employees claimed that they looked under and around the home for any sign of a cat. Both state regulators and the company refused requests for an interview. In this email, the owner pointed out they've been cleared in the case. Rob and Beth say there should be a rule or law that mandates neighbors be notified when a home in the immediate area will be fumigated.
Because maybe it won't be just a cat next time.
I'm I-Team reporter Jackie Calloway, taking action for you.
Well, more young adults are being affected by liver disease. A study by the University of Michigan finding that alcohol abuse is leading to a spike in liver disease deaths. 4 in Your Corner doing some research, and we found that women, according to experts, should not drink more than 1 drink a day or more than 7 in a week. Again, this is the max. And as for guys, no more than 2 a day, no more than 14 a week. 4 in Your Corner spoke with the head of the David Lawrence Center in Collier County, who tells us the earlier you can talk to your kids about alcohol, the better.
Hopefully having those conversations well before our kids are going off to college. Really, we need to be having that in elementary and middle school, which is when kids are now being offered their first drink.
So as for the warning signs, she says look out for changes in behavior. Maybe, your loved one, your child is skipping out on things they used to enjoy or not putting as much care into their hygiene. That's when you should reach out and try to get them some help. Dead fish, sea turtles, manatees, and now dolphins washing up on shore along the southwest Florida coastline.
One of our viewers, Kaylee, posted these images to Facebook today of a dead dolphin she spotted near Stump Pass in Charlotte County. That's where that red tide, the algae bloom, is still an issue. Tonight, 4 in Your Corner's Tony Sadiku is there with more on what else people are seeing.
It's not what you want to see when you come to the beach. Dead fish and mammals, and then you add red tide. It's enough for some people to pass up the beach on a beautiful day. A beautiful summer day at Stump Pass Beach, and look, not a soul in sight. In fact, I found more dead fish than people to talk to out here. Signs posted warning of red tide may have done the trick, but not keeping everyone far from the beach.
I pulled up and I thought, oh, we got the beach to ourselves, and then I started to think, uh-oh.
Millie Merkowitz was on her way out when I caught up with her. She wanted to bring her friend from Michigan out here to enjoy the nice day, but ended up not staying very long.
It was terrible.
Sights of dead fish.
Probably 10 to 15 dead fish.
The smell of red tide.
Got that smell, that odor, and it irritates you.
The cue to call it a day. And even I was affected.
I don't know if you know, but even you're coughing.
You're right. It's hard not to. But it's not just dead fish washing up. Kelly Collier posting on Facebook she found a dead dolphin along Englewood Shore this morning. Florida Fish and Wildlife believe red tide may have played a factor in the death, but is still investigating. FWC is reporting high concentrations of red tide this week along coastal Charlotte County, low concentration in southern Collier, and no red tide issues along coastal Lee. A Port Charlotte resident, Berkowitz, hopes something is done about the red tide so she doesn't have to drive to a different county to avoid it altogether.
So I hope that somehow they can control this or make it better.
FWC transported the dolphin to a lab in Sarasota today, and a necropsy is planned for tomorrow in St. Pete to determine the exact cause of death. In Charlotte County, Tony Sadiku, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thanks, Tony. And Senator Bill Nelson says he's taking on toxic algae. He'll be in North Fort Myers tomorrow hosting a roundtable with local healthcare experts and environmental leaders about the toxic algae. This roundtable will be at 3 Fisherman's Seafood Restaurant, which is on Cleveland Ave in North Fort Myers. This starts at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Senator Nelson has called on the Centers for Disease Control to study the health effects from exposure to this algae.
Lee County also working on ways to try to get this algae addressed that's in our waterways. Lee County Commissioner Cecil Pendergrass is asking for grant money to pay for the cleanup. The county is part of a state of emergency right now. It directs the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to give money for cleanups. The state, though, would still need to approve this grant request. 4 in your corner wants to see what you're seeing, and this is what one of our Fox 4 viewers, Kevin Koch, said. I'm not how to say the name. It's Koch, but you can see that blue-green algae in the water. He says they were taken right near Normandy Court, right by Paradise Tiki Hut, but it's anything but paradise if you're living by this stuff. If you've got photos or videos you want to share with us, have us check out as part of our coverage, go ahead and email them to us at news@fox4now.com or send us a message on Facebook.
All right, things still looking quiet in the tropics, and we expect it to stay that way through tomorrow and into the weekend and really into next week. We're just kind of in an unfavorable phase for any kind of development anywhere in the Atlantic Basin, but some showers and storms going on across parts of the western Atlantic and northern Gulf, and lots of dry air and dust right now occurring across parts of the Atlantic. That is unfavorable for any development. So it looks like for at least the next week or so, things are going to be remaining quiet, although it does look like the atmosphere is going to start to become more in a favorable phase, if you will, in the Atlantic for some development towards the end of this month, the first part of August. And of course, as you know, August, September, October are the months that we really need to pay attention to things here in South Florida. But right now, it looks like things are going to be staying quiet here for the time being. Your complete weekend forecast and, of course, forecast for your Friday coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Sarah. A 71-year-old man died a little over a week ago after officials say he ate an oyster with a deadly bacteria. The Florida Department of Health says he got Vibrio vulnificus after eating a bad oyster at a restaurant in Sarasota, just up the road. Officials say he had other medical issues which did contribute to his death, but the health department says the restaurant will be notified in hopes that no one else eats oysters from this batch. There have been 16 cases and 3 deaths from Vibrio vulnificus in Florida so far this year. Connecting to public Wi-Fi can be dangerous. A new study finding people traveling through Southwest Florida International Airport could be putting their information at risk when they log on.
Also ahead, Netflix getting some competition. Which company could be giving them a run for their money?
A new scam hitting inboxes across the country. The risque twist that crooks are using to try and get your money.
And we want to give you a live look, courtesy of the Storm Smart Sky Cam tonight, the Caloosahatchee Bridge in Fort Myers. We thank you for watching Fox 4 News at 10. We're right back after this.
Live from the station that's in your corner. News with Patrick Nolan, Amy Wegman, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Scam artists have found a new way to try to get your money. It's called porn blackmail or an extortion scam.
Jennifer Krause telling you about the email with a risque twist that you might find in your inbox.
Imagine opening an email like this, telling you, I know your password, I know your secret, and I have proof. The anonymous sender then goes on to claim that he or she